Good morning and welcome to day 13, the monologue, where we discuss the highs and the lows of our great Western adventure. And we started out really early at about 6 a.m. in the morning because we still had a flat tire that was leaking from the day before. And when we woke up, oh, tire was flat again. So I had to drag the air compressor out and go pump it up. Left the tent as is because we were going to head west for the morning before we came back to our campsite of the night before, which was Given Hot Springs, which is on the south bank of the Snake River, pretty much due south of Boise, Idaho. We went to, I believe, Homedale, where we found a local tire shop who fixed their tire properly for about $30. That worked out well. And then we headed on local roads due west to the Idaho-Oregon border and Graveyard Point on the Snake River, which was our first rock hunting area for the day. We did have to ask the landowner for permission and had a nice talk to him, and he granted us access to the area where we needed to go, where we found a small monument and some nice agates and some other quartzite sort of stuff. There's a mine to the south, but that's all very private and very barricaded, so we didn't try there. From there, we headed back east a few miles to US 95, and we followed that south a little bit to the west to the where it crosses into Oregon, and this is where we start the main rock hunting for the day. Right on the border, there was an area of agates along a stream bed, but we had to kind of track down this really rough trail, almost very rutted, had to go very slowly, but we made it okay in the Subaru. Had a few decent specimens out of here. And then we went about a mile or two north and then looped around. And this was a little more challenging because the sites weren't as well easily to be found, but it was a kind of a mixture of quartz and agates and some other minerals. Nothing really high quality, but a few just to say that we were there. And then we headed north a little bit and across an area of whitestone that borders this county road. And there's supposed to be some really nice mineralized stones in here. And unfortunately, I think where it's public access, it's been pretty picked over. We ran into some other rock hunters too, and since they were already there, I kind of left them to it. I didn't find anything really at the site. It's one of probably the top 10 rock hunting sites in Idaho. We continued east and then managed to go off, and we were trying to find this other soapstone site. Unfortunately, I had a little more than a little trouble finding it, and just the roads were just too rough, so we just gave up. So not every rock hunting site is able to get to, and even the ones we get to, we don't always find something worth keeping. From here, it was only a few miles back to the hot springs of our campsite before, and by this point they were open. So we went in and paid for our camping from the night before and checked out the swimming pool. Now, with the lockdown in place, I just didn't feel comfortable going swimming. We just got the tent packed up and the gear and headed southeast along the Idaho State Highway. We were originally going to head for Brunel and the Brunel State Park with its sand dunes, but I just kind of figured with the time that And I knew that there were other places in the West that had much better sites. So we, instead of going all the way down to Bernal, we turned northeast and headed for Mountain Home. And pretty much from here on out, it was mostly a, a driving afternoon. We did stop for a late lunch, and then it was like, okay, where are we going to camp for the night? But once you get up this way, there are in the flats of Idaho, north of the Snake River, but before you hit the mountains, there aren't that many choices. We ended up deciding to stop early at Fairfield, Idaho. I knew that there you could camp in the city park with vault toilets. We both wanted something better, and I knew there was an RV park, so I wasn't quite sure where their office was, so I pulled into the bar and restaurant, and we got lucky. The owner was in there having a beer. And I said, hey, we really, I know you're technically just an RV park, but can we please set up a tent? Because we really like to stay in your site because we want to use your laundry and your showers. And, you can't try to talk us into the other, but we came. He was nice, and he allowed us to stay there the night, even through it was really an RV park. But we got a site right next to the bath house and the laundromat. So that was cool. And it was only like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But we had a nice spot for the tent. And from there, we just walked down and had dinner at the bar slash restaurant, which was a block and a half walk from the RV park. And the food was great, the beer was great, and wasn't that crowded. And we got able to get, laundry done, get showers done, catch up on our online media presence, and found out that finally that at Fort Kearney we did not make it onto a national internet site. Darn. But it was really good, and we needed a partial day. So ends day 13, and it was a good day. All right, Danusa, have a great afternoon. Have a great day.